before some of you get on my neck that Africa is not a country, it's a continent. You're from Africa, you should know better. Oh my god, you guys, I took my history and my geography classes very seriously. Yes, of course, I know Africa is not a country, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to mostly refer to Africa, and not the countries in Africa. So if you stick around for a little bit longer, you'll get to find out why. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are old, you already know what we have going on. If you are new, you are highly welcome. My name is Maxine and I do videos on scholarship opportunities, lifestyle and cooking. You're welcome once again. So today I'll be making a video on traveling to South Korea from Africa. So like I mentioned in my introduction, you'll get to find out why I'm using Africa and not the different countries. So like I already did a video on how to travel, on traveling from Korea during a COVID-19 pandemic. So but now it's like traveling to Korea. So this is everything you need to know. So like from your country, wherever you're coming from, you need the COVID test, a negative COVID test before you board the plane. Then now I'm going to just fast forward to, because the procedure is almost the same. Uh, so once you're in the plane, like maybe an hour or 30 minutes before landing, I'm not really sure, it just depends on the airline you're using, you're handed different types of forms. So you're given, I think it's like five different forms. I'm going to attach a picture or maybe just list them depending on what is more convenient for me. So anyways, you have five different forms. So number one is the form is yellow in color. It's the health declaration form. So basically it's asking about your, if you have any symptoms, your name, your country, your passport number. I cannot really remember everything there, but it's just like the health declaration form. And the second form is the travel record declaration. So they want to know where you've been to for the last, I think it's 21 days, or countries you've been to prior to coming to Korea, something like that. And then the third form is the traveler declaration form. So now this is oh like the custom form. I always call it the custom form. Like you declare whatever you're coming in with, like if you have prohibited goods or goods that you need to declare, something like that. Yeah, that one is like the regular form. Then the third form, no, the fourth form is the agreement to quarantine facility form. So like if this is like for people that are coming in for maybe their first time, or they don't have a long-term residence card, or like for tourist purposes. So because for the 14 days quarantine, you can either do it at your house, at a government facility, in a hotel, in there like different places where you can do your quarantine. So this form is just like you agree to. I didn't even read this one because I had to quarantine at home. So then the fifth form is the arrival card. It's just like the fourth form, like it's for people coming in for the first time. It's your name, your address. So if you're a long-term resident in Korea, you don't have to, or you don't need to fill this form. So those are like the five forms that you are handed, you're given to once when you are in the plane. So for your convenience, it's good to fill these forms before landing, so that once you land, things are, you can do things very quickly, because the line is not long, but for your sake, because it takes so much time to once you land and to exit the airport. So if you are fast enough to fill out these forms, then it's helpful to you, it saves time. And so when you land, the first station, like once you're out of the plane with your hand luggage or whatever you're carrying, now I'm just going to call them stations. So these are like the different stations you have to pass at, and the different things you have to do, especially with this form, where you have to hand in a form, or if they have any questions for you. So the first station is like the station where they do your temperature check, and also they take the yellow form from you, and also they take your PCR test, the negative PCR test. So on the PCR test, what they look, they have two important things or three that they have to circle. They circle the your name, of course, the test if it's negative, and the date, because as I said, it has to be within the 72 hours period. So those are like the most important things they are looking for. On mine did not have my passport number, but they were just like, okay, I just told them like in my country they don't include that information, so it was okay. But I think for some people they include their passport number, so it just depends on where you do your COVID test. um then that's all with station one. So once you're done with station one, you're handed your passport, and they give you this form. So you have this form, there's something like this. I don't know if you can see it. So it's the health screening certificate. So it basically says that you've completed the health screening measures, including temperature check and submission of health declaration form. So this is what you're handed. uh, you're given this paper at the first station, like after you finish handing in your yellow form. And then the on your passport, you have like two different stamps. So like this one is Tesanku A and PCR. So this is like, I think this tells you the zone or where you're coming from. Like they have classified the countries, and then the PCR test, like the COVID, like you are required to do a PCR test like the same day. Then after you're done with that, you move now to station two. So station two is where you download the quarantine app. So this is an application where they have to monitor your body temperature, if you have fever, cough, or sore throat. So you have to check in at 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. every day for the 14 days during your quarantine period. So at this station, they download the app, they verify, I think, your contact information, and I don't know if they do anything, because I just sat there and they were like, da 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 da, okay, go. So then the second that's you're done with station two, now you go to station three. So station three, there are like two different sections. So we have, I'm just going to say 3.1, section 3.1, no, station 3.1 and station 3.2. So in station 3.1 is immigration. So basically station 3 is immigration check. So in 3.1, it's like they ask for your passport, and yeah, I think they asked for my passport, and they handed me a badge, a yellow, I know mine was black, a black badge. So this is where the African all about the coming from African comes in, because depending on where you are coming from, they have the batches have different colors. So I was quite surprised at this point. Honestly, I didn't know why I was given a badge. So I was just like, okay, this is a badge. I'm like, everything, like the rules change every day. So I'm not going to be asking questions at that point. So it's afterwards that I understood that like people coming in from different countries or different continents, like Africans, they have the black badges because we are considered as a high risk infection country or zone or area or region. Let me just put it like that for simplicity's sake, so that you can easily understand. Which to me was quite surprising, because at that point I was like, I was so surprised. I'm coming from Cameroon, as you know. Like, to the best of my knowledge, we were having like less than 100 cases of COVID, yeah, a day. So I'm just like, wow, how can we be considered high risk? So like someone explained to me later, like most often Koreans or the Korean government doesn't really trust these results that are reported from this country. So anyways, that's why you see, like in my intro, I was like African, coming from Africa. I didn't want to distinguish from Cameroon, Kenya, or Nigeria, or Sudan, or wherever you are coming from, because we are all considered as one. So it doesn't matter if your country has zero COVID cases or it has 100 or 200 or 1,000, you are all considered like one. So you'll be treated the same once you land with regards to the quarantine procedure. So when you are done with station 3.1, now you're sent to station 3.2. So this is where, if you remember in my previous video, if you watched my previous video traveling from Korea, I mentioned that you needed a re-entry permit. So this is where you need that re-entry permit. So in station 3.2, you have to check again. They check your passport, they check your alien card, like your resident permit, they check your re-entry permit, then they take your what's that? They take your fingerprint, sorry, and your picture, a photo of you. Yeah, I think that's all they do in station 3.2. So once you're done with that, you move now to station uh oh, sorry. So that's all they do in station 3.2. So once you're done with that, you're like, yeah, I'm almost out. I'm almost out of this place. So station 4 is where you collect your luggages and you give the traveler declaration form and you go for, depending on where you're coming from, because some people said they don't do x-ray on their bags, but mine was x-ray. I had to pass it through the x-ray. Again, you're coming from Africa. Yeah, anyways, so after you're done with that, you go now to station 5, which is the verification of quarantine location. That's how I'm calling station 5, because honestly I don't know what I was doing there. So once you're there, you're just asked to give your passport, your this document, that your residence card, and you, I think it's just to, for me in station 5, all they did was just to verify your quarantine location, if you're supposed to go home or you're supposed to go maybe to a hotel or the government facility, I'm not sure. Then station, once at station 5, we waited there for god knows how long. Then now you go to station 6, which is the last stage. So now in station 6, people are attended to according to their batches. So that's how, like, the batch thing was really important. So the color of the batches, like you have to follow a particular line depending on what the color of your batch is. So for us, we had to wait. Like if you had a black batch, it's not just Africans, guys. So there were people coming from other Asian countries, I think, were just high risk countries. Yeah, they had, some had black batches too, and some had different colors. So there we had to wait, because what they were doing is, since they had to take us to a hotel, we have to, and these buses are so big, so they have to wait for other flights. So flights that land almost at the same time, they have to wait for everybody. So that's at that station now, it was just the waiting. So we waited there for maybe 2 hours, I'm not really sure. So we waited there, and after that they took us out to the bus, where we now put our luggages, got on the bus, and they brought us to Seoul, to a hotel in Seoul. So that's like when things were happening, because I was so tired. Like I didn't even know, I didn't even want to ask questions on what was happening, because when I was coming, I thought like I was going to, I was going straight home for quarantine. So I had no idea I was going to go to a hotel for 1 day. So like now at the hotel, they have to do a corona test, which has to be negative. So after 1 day, you have to now go home. So but overall the process was, I it was fast at the level of the stations, because there were not so many people, but it's the waiting. Like I waited at the airport for maybe 4 hours. Yeah. So like the time I landed to the time I left the airport was like 4 hours. That was really a long time. Imagine, like, the flight is very long, you're tired and everything, then you have to wait again for that long, and they are not even giving you a suitable explanation on what is going on. So you are just doing the waiting game. But anyways, like once we got on the bus now, then we went to the hotel in Seoul, because the airport is in Incheon. Then you go to the hotel in Seoul, and everything is set up. It's like one of the quarantine hotels. So once we are at the hotel, I'm not going to go into those details, but like you check in the hotel, and like maybe 2 or 3 hours later, they come and do your COVID test just like in front of your door. Then you wait for the results the next day. Yeah, the results, it's like 8 hours later. You wait for your results, and like in my case, they called me like, so from there, where am I going to? Is someone picking me up, or am I taking the special, because they have these special quarantine taxis that can take you from one place to another, and because you are not allowed to use public transport, of course. So like, I'm going to attach a video of my quarantine room, my quarantine hotel, like how it looks like, because it was so fancy. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I wish like on normal circumstances I can just take a break and go and relax here. And not be like some kind of no, I don't want to use this word. I don't want people to come for me, because I know quarantine is not really easy, but I not just to be in an environment where you are not allowed to go out. I didn't want that circumstance, because the room was really good. It was so fancy. So yeah, that's the procedure on traveling to Korea, from if you're coming from Africa. I hope I try to make it to keep it short, but like the like the video was quite there's like a lot of things that had to be said. I didn't want to really summarize it, so that people that are watching or coming from Africa should really have a glimpse on how the traveling process is during this COVID-19 pandemic. Hello guys, so this is my quarantine hotel. Like I said, I like as I got to Korea, we picked up from the airport and brought directly here. We're like maybe 10 or 20 people. I'm not really sure, but this is where they brought us. So it's quite it's a good room. Like, I really like the room. So once you get in, this is the where you put the key, and it turns on the light and everything. Of course, you know that this is like the wardrobe or something for the shoes and clothes, if you have anything you want to hang. This is a mirror looking awesome. And so this is the room, which I really like. I have all of it to myself, and I also like the painting. It's really beautiful. And this, we have this right here, there's the small fridge, and we have the electric kettle, and what I used this water to make my ramyun last night. And we have this beautiful lamp and the emergency light touch. And this is like the bathroom and the toilet together. It's awesome. I really like it. It's so beautiful. This is the sink, and here we have the towels. And yeah, isn't this beautiful? I have my black dress on, and this is the toilet. This is for the bath. Yeah, so we have the TV and these decks. When I got in, they had some stuff like this paper for the information and everything, and the trash bag. Since I'm leaving, my trash is packed. We have the disinfectant. We also have this other gorgeous light. This is my luggage all packed up, and this is the decks area, and also sockets for charging. And I really didn't, I used this to eat. When I wanted to eat, I sat on this chair. And also I had a beautiful view of the city. uh, it's not really that beautiful, but I did enjoy it while I was here. Just a day. So like I said before, I had to wait here and get the negative result before going home. So I just got a call to pack my things, and I'm just like, why don't you do a video of where you were, so when you are explaining it to people, they can understand everything. Okay, thank you for watching. Now I'm prepping to get home and continue my 14 days, or maybe 13, I'm not sure. Thank you guys, if you watched my video up to this point. Like, thank you. I know you're a true supporter. Thank you so very much for staying around. As always, I'm so grateful. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, and do have a great day. Bye.